finals. Seconds, players and referees. 30 seconds. Please take the field.
Good afternoon and welcome to Waterworth Park, Tempe, the Canterbury Velodrome for the 2022 Vawdon Cup Grand Finals. I'm Nathan Loveday and I'm joined here in commentary with Ricky Hetherington. Rick, nice day for it.
Nathan, lovely day, mate. Look at the sun. The sun has come out. The rain has been here for the last couple of months, but the sun's out on Grand Final day as always.
It's absolutely perfect, probably around 25 degrees. It might be a bit warm. It'll be interesting to see the back end of these games and how they take it to the wire.
Yeah, definitely these early games. Still very, very warm. I haven't played a lot of warm touch footy this year, so see how the girls go in this first game.
And on the stadium here, we have the Ryde Eastwood Hawks running left to right on your screen, taking on the Manly Warringah Sea Eagles. And they'll take it up off the tap and looking to strike here. Big push here early for that first try, Rick, in the start of the game. And they're going to do it, are they? The ball's over the top and the winger couldn't handle it, but that's the way you want to start.
Yeah, nice expensive play there from the Ryde Eastwood Hawks. They came down this right-hand side and then looked to shift right across late. Had Manly under pressure, they just couldn't quite seal the deal there.
Now the Hawks finishing third position and Manly finishing top of the ladder, the minor premiers, and getting through unscathed through the final series as they look to drive up past the 10 and the pass there and can't be handled there by 27.
Both teams won't be happy there. They had some chances there. Ryde Eastwood in the first set. Manly had a chance there too if they could just finish with the ball cleanly there. So here go Ryde Eastwood. They look to come to the drive.
And they get the ball away and there's jersey number 37 and they go wide through Pratt and Pratt will get up near the halfway and she'll step back in and dish away to Besgrove and Besgrove takes us up over that halfway line and Pratt will go to half and she stands and dances, looks it, gives it away to Besgrove and Besgrove back to Pratt and they look to push forward here at the 7 and standing still and the ball's taken and Pratt will look to pick it up and she can't handle it, little toe forward and ball down. A warming up period, if ever I've seen it, Rick, for both sides.
Yeah, both teams a bit scrappy at the back end of their sets here and see what happens here. But
Micah Rogers and referee Costigan spot a drop ball here and advantage to Ryde, you would say, as they look. How important, Rick, is a try early on? You've been a part of many big games and
it just settles the nerves the first try of the game. You get that first try, you get in the lead and you settle yourself down and really get in your rhythm after that.
It's Pratt now. It gets with Besgrove and they're going to the quickies there and step back. And
bit too compact there for me. They need to get a bit more expansive, Ryde Eastwood, and really try to stretch this Manly defensive line.
It'll be interesting to see the, as you said, see if we can see a long ball there. And good hard touch there from the Manly girls, pushing up off the line. I think, oh, there's another one. Hit that into you early on and ball's picked up by Pratt. They come out the first try, the big dive. Is she there? Referee Kane Thorburn on the sideline helping out Micah Rogers. And that was a very, very tight decision there.
Yeah, I think the correct call was made in the end, but it was a very good touch there from the Manly Warringah team. But again, there it is from Ryde Eastwood, going nice and expansive and created chances.
And referee Kane Thorburn from the Bankstown Club, who's recently state-graded referee, so nice to see him. I think this is his second grand final in the Vawdon Cup. So
interesting to see how some of the referees are this morning. They had their awards night late last night, so see how they are today.
Yeah, due to all the delayed pushback functions, the only date they could squeeze in was the night before Vawdon, which I can only assume they wouldn't have been too happy with as Manly go on the attack for the first time. And the ball's picked up, and they're going there. She comes off, pushes off, and that's a good diving touch. Good diving touch by the Manly girls.
Great play there from the Manly girls. Again, more expansive running. That's what we like to see. And when both teams are going expansive, they do have some opportunities there.
They'll go forward, the Hawks, and they'll get up near that halfway. And the ball had spiders on it there, and didn't want a bar of it there, Maddie Sherrin. And they get up near halfway, and they go up over it. And on the grandstand side here of Tempe, and you'll see on the footage, the ground absolutely bathed in sunshine, and the crowd starting to roll into the stadium game here, and plenty of people out in the in fields 2, 3, and 4 out the back.
Yeah, and definitely it should be a good game. Like the sun is shining, and this should be a free-flowing game. There should be minimal mistakes here.
Something a bit later, Rick, you'll feature in the 3 o'clock game, the men's Division 1, your Parramatta side taking on Bankstown. How are the boys feeling?
Yeah, very confident, mate. Had a good win on Friday night, and see how we go today, see how we turn up. It should be a good day, and said one of the only 2 games we've played in the sunshine all year, so see how we go.
Yeah, it might make a bit of a difference for some of the teams as Manly get up near halfway, near the try line. Sorry, the ball's picked up, and there's Whittle with the ball, gives it back on the inside, and Boslin couldn't handle it.
Could have kept running there with her. I think she was in the backfield. She didn't quite realise she was through there.
And this game's still here going into end, just under 5 minutes in, and both teams still feeling each other out. And
yeah, both teams had a bit more polish at the back end of their sets. They would have had a try or two, so see how we go.
As the Hawks now looking to push forward, and they're on that New South Wales touch. 50, and they pick it up, and she's away and through. Brianna Kelly. Kelly looks at the right. Eastwood Hawks going to score, and they are. Boom, they're over. And just a clean pair of heels there from Kelly, and the Hawks take the lead in the grand final.
Lovely try there from the right Eastwood Hawks. Brianna Kelly getting out of half with some foot speed. Both teams have looked dangerous when they've got out of half, a bit of foot speed out of the ruck area. And if they can keep doing that, both teams, they will be a high-scoring contest.
And how important, Rick, obviously coaching at various levels, the State of Origin coach as well in your first year, getting the series done this year, so well done on that one.
Thanks, mate.
And how important is it, that first try, just to get the momentum?
As I said earlier, that first try just settles you all down, gives you the lead, and then the team has to score 2 to beat you. So you've always got quite confidence if you can get that first one, but you have to defend it. And Manly, dummy half, I think, there from the referees. Yep.
Thrown it away. We got there eventually.
Yep. Yeah, great defence there from Eastwood again, but Manly looked dangerous. They haven't had some opportunities, the Manly Warringah team, and haven't quite capitalised.
As the Hawks now coming from 3rd position to get into the big dance, and they had a win on Friday night against Balmain to secure their spot, 6-3, which is here at Tempe. As I look to drive forward, and there's Wheelhouse, and she plays it back, and Kelly picks it up.
Kelly looks a real threat out of half. Brandon Kelly, the 7 there for Ryde, but she's a threat out of dummy half for this side. So Manly have to be on their toes, and I'm sure Coach Ian Calms will be telling his team that.
There's Kylie Gray takes the ball and dumps it near that halfway, and the ball's dished off, and there's Perrott with the ball. Perrott will dance and stand, and the ball's picked up, and she steps and looks, and she's dangerous here and looking. They've got the overlap. There's going to be a stay on. Is there going to be grabbing? Is there going to be hands away? And they've scored, Manly. Referee Costigan says yes, and Chase Perrott levels the game. That was a little bit too easy, Rick.
Yeah, it was too easy. It wasn't the greatest dump there from the Manly team, but just good foot speed out of half from Kyla Gray. She's a girl coming through the grades. I watched her a couple of years ago at the PWSA national titles. She was a gun then, and she's really come in the last couple of years, and her foot speed out of half has created dramas for Riders so far, and see how we go.
And the Hawks will take us back to halfway, and 1-1 here. 7.5 minutes in to this one, and welcome to all our viewers joining us in at home, all the parents and families that obviously couldn't get to Tempe today. It's a warm one, so sitting at home in the aircon's probably not a bad place to be, I dare say, as I go on the attack with Brianna Kelly in the jersey 6, and she's going to stand there. This could be the old Mexican standoff, and she gets the quickie back off Donkin, and Donkin's there with Kelly, and the ball's thrown away, and some Manly very relaxed in defence on that situation. Yeah,
every time Riders would have sort of gone that quickie option, Manly have been able to just defend it nice and easy, nice and tight. But every time Ryde Eastwood have run, they've put them under pressure. So that's got to be the key for Ryde Eastwood. And that's what this coach, the coach of the Ryde Eastwood team, Mark Donkin's got to be telling his team, to get expansive, get running. That's what's going to hurt this Manly side.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see for the next 12 minutes here. If they get a chance to be camped on their line, if they do just stand still, I think you're spot on that one, Rick, where if they do just try and go the statics, it's not necessarily going to be the way to go. They've got to move the defence, and Kelly will go again for the quickie. The ball's picked up by Donkin, gives it to her, and she's got it there, and the flick around the body back on the inside is they give the ball away, and there's Maggie Donkin with the ball, and she stops again. Here we are with this Mexican standoff, and I'll give the ball out wide through Sheeran. Sheeran will give it back to Donkin, and Donkin will pick it up. They go the Rooster play, the old red Rooster. Outside to the jersey. Oh, she's hit the gap. Look at that. They're over. Oh, Rick. She's come from the clouds and straight through.
Oh, a lovely line there from the winger, Bailey Broomhead. What a line. Had the Manly winger looking inside, and she just too good of a line and a great little play. Again, expansive. Expansive touch from Ryde Eastwood, gets a try.
That's a play that you'd say probably Hornsby, Parramatta were an exponent of that play, the old winger running the link hole just to sort of wake up the defence.
Yeah, it's a last touch special from a lot of the Premier League teams lately. Just a winger really punching the hole out of nowhere, and has created a few tries like that one just there. And Ryde Eastwood 2-1.
As you said, the defence, I think that's a perfect example. If they start running right, I think they're going to cause trouble for that defence. It's the first time they've really tried to, well, they run with any form of penetration, and you see the results, whereas, the static stuff is, I think it's easy to say that's not working. Yeah,
exactly. I think if the Manly team can get running and Ryde Eastwood team run as well, this will be a high-scoring contest, but both teams just sort of a bit lazy, and Ryde Eastwood just want to go the statics.
And there's a forward pass off the ruck. Says referee Thorburn. Big congratulations to all our referees. As Rick said, the referees had their awards dinner last night, and big congratulations to all of them, particularly the Premier League referees for tonight, but all the state-graded refs. It's been a couple of years without. I believe there's about 40 state-graded referees who received their sky blue blazer. So big congratulations to all those referees. It's a big achievement moving through the levels, Rick.
Yeah, it's a great achievement for our referees, and our referees are awesome. They do game after game, and some of them can do 2 or 3 games on a Friday night where our players are doing one and complaining about that. So our referees are a credit to us and credit to our sport.
And Gray picks the ball up and gets off, and she's definitely dangerous. There's no question of that getting through. And the other one was last weekend, mate. We had the Jubilee, the state conference, and the Jubilee all in one, and what a fantastic night that was down at a core stadium.
It was an absolutely awesome night to celebrate our 50-year history of our sport in the state, and it's been great to see all the old heads that I saw when I was 2 years old running around. It was great to see them and catch up with everyone. It was a great night, and congratulations to all our award winners on the night.
We're talking about in the office midweek as they get a bit expansive here. The Hawks on last that was probably one of the key highlights, I think, was seeing all those people that they'd sort of walk around and they'd see people they haven't seen for so many years. That the looks on their faces, all the Jubilee teams were named, but that camaraderie in touch football, you just can't beat it.
No, you can't. And people hadn't seen each other for 10, 15 years, and they were catching up like they saw each other last week. It was great to see, and some of the old heads like that taught me back in the day were great to see them as well. And I'm sure it was a great night, and once the dinner was over, everyone sort of flocked over to the locker room, and it was shoulder to shoulder in there for a very long time.
There's the Eagles on the attack and hit the ball through Wawdon. I think there's no touch. We could have a try there. I don't think there's a touch. I think there's a try. Oh, there is it. That'll be an interesting one to look at. Call of the boot, which will support that decision.
Yeah, they're in a good position there, the referee, so they've made the right call. The righties were going to call the touch, and they go with their decision. So we go Manly, though. They're starting to run a bit more expansive touch and really get them under pressure.
As Withall picks it up, she's dangerous again. The big dive, that's a great touch. That's a fantastic touch. Who was that? Sienna Wheelhouse with the big dive. Withall picked it up, who's been dangerous around that 7-metre line. Went straight through, but Wheelhouse was turned, and I think she's winded herself a little bit on that dive, and that ground is very hard. We've had the cricket roller out there this week to try and flatten out that area, which has copped, obviously, this year a fair bit of flack with all the touch we've had played here and all the extra curricular games that have been played here.
Yeah, the field's holding up nicely, but there is that brown tinge through the middle, which the rain and the amount of footwork with traffic we've had on this field, but it's still in good nick and should be making a good touch.
Withall, she's straight through. And the player was called onside there. That was questionable, and I think they're going to have a quick chat about this. And, yep, the referee just, I don't know why they needed to have a chat if they were going with that decision, but they do anyway. And here we are again. So touch 2 and Manly on the attack.
Touch 2 and Weatherall trying to dictate terms here and get a team back on level terms.
And the ball's passed away, and there's jersey 17, Clancy. And Clancy goes down for Withell. She gets a quickie back the link, quickie. And the Hawks very tight in defence. And the Hawks at the moment here, Manly seem a little bit rattled.
Yeah, they do. Manly to try and rush it here and just play. And, oh, but silly error there from the Ryde Eastwood Hawks. Giving 6 again, yet again. And the coach killer has nearly killed a coach in front of us here in the Ryde Eastwood box for sure.
I'm not sure if you can see the reaction from the coach there from the Hawks, but that absolutely said it all. Last touch, they're all over him in defence, the Hawks. And the reaction right in front of us here was absolutely brilliant. You'd love a camera for it. And there's Withell with the ball who picks it up, and she looks to dance, and she wants the quickie back, goes to Counties in. And they give it back, and there's space here, and the 24, Maddie Sharon, she's working overtime in defence, but she's holding her own.
Yeah, some great play there from Manly, but even better defence there from the Riders. We're really just sliding, not over-committing when they don't have to.
And Withell, she's going to go for the line, and she's got it. They say, if you don't get it at first, try again, and Withell levels it up at 2-all, and it was coming the Ryde defence, but you've got to take it back to the attempted intercept on the last.
Yeah, there's a couple of repeat sets there for Manly on the line. That Ryde Eastwood once, 6-again coach on the far side. But the set before that, when they got the ball back, they dropped it on touch 2. They can't keep giving good teams ball. It's going to hurt them. So 2-all with just over 5 minutes to go in this first half.
And the Hawks now looking to swoop. And there's Hoffman with the ball and goes forward, and Pratt back on the field, and Hoffman takes it, and there's Besgrove, she's on as well, and here's Pratt, and nice little shove there from the Manly players. Late pass is the call there.
Late pass there, so here go Manly trying to go drive a bit more direct, but there we go.
And off the mark now, so.
What do we got here?
Off the mark's the call by referee Thorburn, so they'll get the chance, and we go back to, if you could do it, you just erase the last 30 seconds and leave the Hawks on the attack.
Yeah, exactly. Here we go. Let's see if Ryde Eastwood in this set could go a bit more expansive than just the quickie, really static play. Manly have eaten that up a bit today. But when they've looked expansive, that's when they've looked dangerous.
And the penalty there on first. And what's your take on that one, Rick? That's probably one of the best discussion points is looking for the advantage when people don't move forward and touch one.
No, just give them a warning and let the attacking team sort of progress a bit, and there we go. And you can always come back to the penalty later on if we need to.
Yeah, I agree with that in full as Pratt with the ball.
Because Ryde Eastwood were looking a little bit dangerous over that far side, creating a few numbers. And
that far winger, she's well and truly in here for the Manly side. And
yeah, just again,
turnover.
The static play, just getting pushed off the ruck there a bit there. The Ryde Eastwood team, they weren't dominant and just trying to be very slow and static. They need to be running.
And Manly now, that's not what they need either. The head goes into the hands of the coaching staff of Manly there, and we have we're 1 apiece with the coach killers, and we're 2-all on the scoreboard with 3.5 to go now.
Very sloppy last couple of minutes here from both teams, just not quite executing what they need to. If both teams can just hold the ball for periods of time, they will score tries.
Could be a level of fatigue, and here we go. Pratt gives it. They got the overlap. She gives it out to that far winger, the big dive. Referee Thorburn, he stands.
What have we got here? Caught her out.
And she's into touch now. We don't have the camera in that far corner, but the referee was Johnny on the spot there, so.
Yeah, the referee's right there on the spot and happy to go with them now, but Ryde Eastwood are really trying to push up here and really interrupt the Manly drive, but they went a bit early there, so Manly got a bit of an advantage.
There's a good effective touch there by Pratt. She just sort of held the Manly player, I think it was Wickham, off her line there as she goes to dump to the box, and it's just become the penalty-a-thon for the last couple of minutes, so hopefully both teams will probably, in fairness, Rick, with the warm weather, will probably appreciate a small breather.
Yeah, they will. Both teams will be looking for half-time, and I think if one of them can get ahead at half-time, it might be a very key to this game.
Some good hands by the Hawks. There's Kelly. Brianna gives it out, and the ball goes wide, and it's jersey 1, Laddie Levu, and Laddie Levu throws it over the touchline.
They've created numbers on that far side a few times, right? And they just haven't been able to capitalise. And that last pass has killed them. And they've gone to touch once. But here come the Manly side going nice and direct on their drive here.
They get up over halfway and they look to push forward to the 10. And there's a little pass and there's Gray with the ball. And she looks and stands it up and Laddie Levu hits a touch. And the ball's picked up by Waddell Scanlon. Waddell Scanlon hits the hole and she couldn't handle it. Chase Perrott, she had a bit of a look. And they hold on the Hawks here. A minute and a half to go, Rick. You're thinking one more set. Oh, referee thought they just clip the heels. And you got to...
This has been the killer for Riders for this entire game. They've made mistakes on their drive, coming out of trouble, and every time Manly have punished. Let's see if Manly can do it again. Kyler Gray is the key here. Should be looking to dictate the tempo. They've only got 5 on at the moment, though, because someone needs to sub right in the middle of the tracking set. It's critical.
And Gray pointing. It may be where she's going to go, but she goes the quickie open side. And
no, she's asking the referee for the penalty. They weren't moving forward. They're the Ryde Eastwood Hawks, and that's what Kyler Gray was asking, just for the penalty, sir, and asking them to move forward. So there we go, they're in this set now.
That's just an opportunity, you think, just to give them that extra set just on the line where it means there's no point of return if they're not to score. It means just wasting a bit of time, you reckon?
Yeah, teams are doing that lately in the last minute of the game, just really happy to give penalty after penalty away and just waste the time.
And Chase Perrott, she could be over. It's a big dive, and that'll be Jordan Kelly there with a big dive. Oh, and she's trying to yell for the sub. I wouldn't be playing on there with 24 seconds to go. I wouldn't be copping that.
I'd be staying, or I'd be laying on the ground and asking for time off. That's the two options. I wouldn't be running the box ever.
Last touch. We have the penalty, and they defend it, the Hawks. And coming from third place, the Hawks here, they've been impressive early in defence in particular. And there's Sheeran now taking that ball up near, and there's the half-time siren. Oh, a bit of confusion there, the siren.
I think the siren went, but the ball had already been played, so they were playing that last touch, and both teams were a bit lost there.
And that's half time. We'll take a short break and we'll join you back in approximately 4 minutes.
players and referees, 2 minutes. One minute, players and referees, 1 minute. Seconds, players and referees, 30 seconds. Players and referees ready.
Welcome back. You can hear the siren in the background. The second half of this enthralling contest between Manly Warringah and the Ryde Eastwood Hawks. And Rick, 2-2, as we were just talking about then off air, the game is well and truly in the balance.
Yeah, definitely, mate. It's in the balance. Both teams just making critical mistakes at different stages throughout that half. So whichever team can control the ball and really get their drive right, they will take control of this game.
And the first opportunity of the half will go to the Sea Eagles and take the ball forward and pointing and dancing. And there's Wickham with the ball, and she'll look to work with Waddell Scanlon, no doubt. And they'll go the Rooster play, and they do, and steps off the left, and there's a bit of space there, and good driving touch. And that's one thing you've got to give with the Hawks, their defence, and they're not afraid to leave the ground, Rick.
No, they spent a lot of time on the deck, the Ryde Eastwood girls in defence, but they've got to have to keep turning up here, and that's a...
They've held off after being so good in defence for so long. Just a little dummy.
Lovely,
the Eagles go through.
Lovely try there from Manly. A bit of scrappy there. Ryde Eastwood would not be impressed by that. They were in control of that defensive set, Ryde Eastwood, and just a bit of footwork, bit of speed, and speed kills in our game, mate.
Certainly does. You see, in particular, speaking of speed, it's a good segue into the Men's Premier League Grand Final tonight. This evening, I'll say, is not Manly, of course, Central Coast and Penrith. That Central Coast side, they've got speed by the bagfuls.
100% they do, mate. The Central Coast teams have been the benchmark all year in Vawdon Cup, but the experience of Penrith is critical in big games. They haven't. They saw it in the country champs. Central Coast were the best team at country champs. Couldn't get the donuts. A more experienced Doyleson team got the chocolates in the end. So interesting to see what happens this afternoon. But it will be a cracker no matter what. And I'm looking forward to it this afternoon.
Well, as you said, as the experience brings they may be quicker on the ground, but between the ears, that Penrith side, and they've got some very witty players as well that will no doubt be looking to manipulate when they can the defence of the coast. And
yeah, the big general in Penrith is Nick Good. He dictates a lot of the tempo for Penrith in this afternoon. It will be no difference, and he does have a few young blokes around him, but he does control them well and get them in the right place at the right time.
And we've got a fourth sub, referee Thorburn, who's giving Graham marching orders. They're on the attack, looking to hit back here, the Hawks. They go long pass by Pratt. And
that was a chance there for Ryde Eastwood. Manly took a bit of time getting their sixth player back on the field, and they couldn't capitalise there, the Hawks. But here come Manly now, just rucking out of trouble. I expect some of their more senior players, Weatherall, Waddell Scanlon, really to step up in the second half and really try to dictate the tempo of this game.
This is where the game, well and truly, 3-2. There's a big chance for Manly. Waddell Scanlon will pick up from half, and she picks it up and gives the ball away. And there's Waddell Scanlon over the top to Whittle, and the ball had to have gone forward. And there's a penalty, and the ball's thrown away as well. So not seen by the referees, but that almost ended up in Lukey's lap.
I think it was thrown in frustration there a bit. Not quite thrown away, but could have been called. But again, the two girls we talked about, Witherell and Waddell Scanlon, dictating the terms in that whole set there from Manly, and really came up with an opportunity there.
Yeah, referee Thorburns found something there on the drive off, and they'll get the chance here. We haven't seen a 2-try lead yet, and there's Whittle and Waddell Scanlon there working at the line, and Whittle there pointing and having a discussion with referee Thorburn. He gives her the instructions to go back and play the ball.
This is a big opportunity for me. If they can go two up, it will hurt the Ryde Eastwood Hawks.
Sienna Jerris plays the ball. The ball comes away, and there's Whittle.
I think Whittle wants the open side, the quickie on the middle in, quickie dump. It's really controlled, but it looks like she might be coming sweeper set here.
Yeah, Jerris with the sweep. Boslin picks it up, and she goes back long. The hands there, and that's gone backwards. We'll see 6 to go, I dare say. And that's correct, Micah Rogers.
Lovely play there from the Manly girls. Sending the sweeper, the Ryde Eastwood felt folded in on the short side. Just couldn't get the pass to the open winger. Wouldn't be surprised if Manly go back to that later in the set.
Well, it seemed to create plenty of spaces. Whittle hits the rooster play, and they give it round, and there's Waddell Scanlon. And Waddell, good tight defence by the Hawks, and Waddell Scanlon, she'll be looking with Bosland there, and they're going to send the sweep, are they? No, they go the rooster play with Whittle, and Whittle goes for the dive at the line and stops and gives away to Bosland, and good defence there from Sophie Gobrin.
Some good attack here from Manly, really trying to expand, get them really nice and tight. The Ryde Eastwood. Wouldn't be surprised if they go a bit expansive, look for a long pass here, and one of the girls in the corner.
As Jeros picks it up, they go the straight around. That's
the red rooster play, and the winger is
it's ball down.
It's ball down.
It's got to be ball down.
That's got to be ball down.
Referee Thorburn, geez, I thought they were going to go and award
I thought they are closer than us, but it looked like ball down for me, and I think that's the key for me. And they went expansive, they got them nice and tight, then went expansive and really created some opportunities there.
Interested in your opinion on the red rooster play, Rick. I've coached against it and had many a try scored on me, and I've been filthy every time. I think based off the closeness of rugby league, it has to be an obstruction, doesn't it?
No comment. Absolutely no comment on it. I've had many discussions about it, and I am 100% with you, Nate. That I think it's a shepherd every single time.
It's just
it's every single time. It's a girls' game thing. It's not. You don't see it a lot in the boys because foot speed just can help and you can get out of trouble. But with the girls, it's a really prevalent play in girls' touch football.
Well, the whole point of what an obstruction is the fact that you shouldn't have to defend with another player running around someone to then gain the overlap. Once they do that,
as soon as you run around the back of someone, it's obstruction every day of the week for me.
Especially in touch football, where obviously lead runners and whatnot in rugby league, you've got to deal with inside shoulder, outside shoulder, and obviously they have the bunker there. And as good as this setup is today, this isn't the bunker, that's for sure, in at Redfern. So it's I see that play and I have a bit of a cringe every time, I must say, when it gets run. And it's not. I think the thing about it is, with the greatest of respects to the teams that choose to run it, is that there's no skill in it. It's not what this game's about. There's absolutely no skill when you pick it up and run around someone.
It's a foot speed one, and really one that I'm not a fan of. So
all my friends tuning in at home are probably thinking that I don't think, as you mentioned, foot speed. I don't have any of that, so they're probably thinking, just shut up and stop whinging because you're not fast. So.
Never had it either, mate.
As Manly now look here at 3-2. Big chance for them to just start to knock that nail in the coffin. Still plenty of time though, as Gray picks it up, and they've got space there as Waddell Scanlon. And the Ryde Eastwood girls have had a couple of lapses in defence, but overall their defence has been outstanding. And there it is again, and it'll get that India here on that far side of the field. But I think you can tell slowly the heat is starting to have a bit of an effect on the players now.
100%. This heat is really starting to heat the game up, and the game is starting to get a bit sloppy and a bit slow. The next try, extremely critical in this game. If you can get back to 3-all Ryde Eastwood, they're in the game. If Manly go 2 up, could be the start of the nail in the coffin, as we said.
Well, for those of you tuning in at home, we've got a big day of touch on here this afternoon. We have, I'm pretty sure there's 3 games on at the moment. We've got 2 games outside going on, and it's It's going to be a big day of touch. We've got outside, we've got men's Division 3 and the girls' youth league here at this time slot, and then 2 lots of 4 games utilised here at Tempe, and we finish off, of course, with the creme de la creme, Rick, the Women's Premier League and the Men's Premier League, which are standalone here on the stadium. So no doubt the crowd, you'll see a few empty seats in the stadium, but by 4 or 5 o'clock this afternoon, they should be full.
Mate, if it's a true grand final this afternoon, this ground will be packed. We'll have people right next to us in our commentary box here looking to get the best seat in the house, and they'll be 2 deep around the entire velodrome as it has been in previous years. So, but got to get through this game first, and let's see what happens here in the end of this game.
As the Hawks, as you said, here we go, a bit of expansion, a little bit of hands there around the ruck, and ball's there with Pratt picks it up. Pratt will look to go long. She looks to favour that left to right every time, and I'll go to the quickie, and there's Kelleher now, and Pratt's through. Here she is, looking. She's in. That's the first time she's got through in the in goal.
Again, running, Nathan. Just got to run.
Nice and direct there from the Ryde girls, and as you said, they just need to move around. That's the difference, I dare say, in this second half so far. We've seen only the 1 try, but the actual movement of Manly in attack compared to that of Ryde is probably the difference.
Yeah, both teams have really cleaned up their drive too and really putting both other teams under pressure. Oh, that's a silly mistake there from Manly. One more touch up their sleeve there, Manly. You just pass off there and go again on the last touch. And 3-2, just over 10 to go here in this first Women's Division 2 grand final, and there we go.
They get tippy-toeing down this touchline, and there's Sheeran with the ball, and she takes it up near the 10. The ball passed off the deck, and there's Hoffman, and working in the middle there, and there's, I was going to say, probably a little bit unlucky, but probably a little bit clumsy on that.
Yeah, a bit both there, and yeah, referees went with the ball down, and seeing becoming a bit more prevalent in the game. You need to be strong at that ruck and really dominant in the play the ball area. If you're not, you're going to get called for a drop ball.
Now, Rick, we're 4 weeks away from State Cup. As the head coach of the Parramatta men's program, how's preparations taking place?
Preparations have been slow for State Cup, mate. Obviously, we've still got the men's Div 1 got a Vawdon Cup grand final this afternoon. Our men's opens went out on Friday night, so preparations a bit slow, but we have been doing a fair bit of training, a fair bit just here and there at the start of Vawdon Cup sessions, but we'll be ready to go in 4 weeks' time. Always, our boys will be primed and see how we go.
It's probably made it, well, not probably, it has made it harder with, as you mentioned, the weather, and we've pushed back the Vawdon Cup dates, and we've sort of crammed the last couple of rounds and the final series in, and we're getting it played. It's the best thing about it is that this is grand final day here live on New South Wales Touch and YouTube, thanks to Bar TV. So, and we're finally here, Rick.
We are
grand
finally.
Final day.
Haven't been here for 2 years, mate, so it's a great thing to be back, and very critical. Grand finals mean a lot to a lot of players, and this is their grand final for them. Some of them don't go to State Cup. This is their only chance to win a grand final at this level, so see how we go this afternoon, and good luck to all the teams this afternoon.
Next up, as I was alluding to before, we have the Women's Div 1, which was the Eastern Suburbs Roosters taking on Manly, and that should be another absolute thriller. And Manly in 3 women's games, it shows how strong their women's program is over on the north side of the harbour.
Yeah, it has been. The women's program Manly's been sensational for a number of years now. There've been a lot of women's Premier League grand finals and Div 1, now starting to get the Div 2 team along with some very young players, so it's a great thing for their future at the club at Manly Warringah. And
some speed, and there we go, our favourite move there again, and Sheeran. It's caught with the ball, but that was a little bit better in regards to the expansion from the Ryde Hawks.
Yeah, it was a lot better there from Ryde. They're starting to run and really open the game up a bit.
As Manly now head towards their box, and they'll look to sweep on. The ball's just thrown over, and I think Dean Russell almost caught that in the grandstand. That's how far that missed by that target. As the Hawks, this is a chance. 7. This half is flying along, as I say. You know, time flies and you're having fun. This is 7.5 on the clock here, and the Hawks with a chance. And here comes Pratt, and we'll look to utilise that left to right. And Besgrove coming on the field as well with Sophie Gobrin as well, and it's a quickie there for Besgrove, and now they're
Pratt
just stepping.
Pratt looking for the quickie here.
And that, if we consistency is the key there. Mr. Thorburn giving the penalty, which was well deserved, as Manly were looking the old Mexican standoff. As Pratt now, as Rick said, would look for the quickie, and she goes along, and
Yeah, Rice are not playing this right. They're playing the ball inside the 7 metre line, so Manly do not have to come forward. They can just stand there. They need to stand outside the 7 and make Manly come forward at them. This is a bit better. They're starting to get this Manly team forward. This is where you can get at the middles. But sloppy, play the ball slow half, not the key here.
Bit of downtime there is not the key. They're going to go the sweep play, and the right middle pulls out of it in attack, and she looks and knocked down, and somehow they created some space there. They still had the overlap. Manly in defence overran that. They get another set.
Yeah, they over committed there, Manly, and nearly created some opportunity for Eastwood. So there we go, here, another repeat set.
They play the ball, they go the Red Rooster, and they throw the ball out, and she holds onto it.
Lovely read there by the Manly winger. Just shut down the play before it developed a great read.
They're on the attack, and there's the quickie, and Pratt picks it up. She'll look for that favourable left to right. She gets off, ball's in, and they're over the Hawks. They're in. The Hawks, they're through. You can hear it. The Hawks faithful are here. You can hear it through the effects mics. The Hawks level it up here at 3-3 with just under 6 minutes on the clock, and she's been looking for that for about 4 or 5 touches, and she finally got through.
Yeah, it was a great play there from Hannah Pratt. She dummied the quickie to the Besgrove, took off down the short side, which she's tried to do a couple of times, and this time it created the opportunity. 3-3, 5.5 to go. Here we go.
And Manly on the attack and looking at the line. They're looking. Now Wickman at dummy half, and Wickman picks it up, and the ball's given back and steps off the left, steps off the right. There's a trip and a big dive, but Sheeran. No.
Hold on. I think the Lynx called no touchy from Ryde Eastwood, so we've got advantage for a try here, but we're looking at what we're doing. Hold on, no.
Oh, and the referee.
What have we got? What have we got?
A penalty for
incorrect roll ball. Call from the sideline. The referee, Micah Rogers, got involved, said the incorrect play of the ball from the Manly team. Critical situation there.
Yeah, it was the juggle, and she regains possession as they're going to come sweeping on here, the Hawks, or do we say swooping on in the Hawks' case, and it's good ball movement. That ball's thrown, that was about 3 metres forward, but
they're looking to create that winger's been on the whole game, that far winger. She's created a few opportunities there for Ryde Eastwood. I think if she gets in the clear, no one will get her, so you can see what happens in Manly, but here comes Manly now. 4 minutes to go. Set of 6 turnover on about halfway, so they should get at least one good crack here at the 7 metre line.
Not to put you on the spot, Rick, but who's going to do it, mate? Who's going to be the game changer for what team? Who's going to be? And the penalty goes to Ryde, so the momentum here is swinging like a pendulum.
I think it's for Ryde Eastwood, it's Hannah Pratt or it's Jordan Kelly. They're the two with foot speed, really creating pressure. For Manly, it is Kyla Gray or Katrina Wetherill. They're the keys. And there's a bit of back chat there from Manly. So Ryde Eastwood get the first crack, and this try now could really put the game beyond doubt.
Chase Perrott, the player that's giving her marching orders to the sub box, the forced sub. For those of you tuning in that may not know, that the forearms crossed across the chest of the referee is a forced sub. So as they go for Kelly, the big dive, the Hawks are over. Oh, she swoops in. The referees are going to have a chat. Micah Rogers. And no, just when you think there's no signal, but I'm not sure.
Not sure what that is though, Nath. I think it might have been something wrong in the ruck, like the Manly one down was this end. But I think both teams, they get a chance, they will create some tries here.
That fatigue, you can tell the fatigues of both teams in their defensive sets. They're creating a bit of space. I think the legs are a bit weary, and there's Gray. She dummies. Good dump. Ball's picked up by Whittle, and Whittle goes straight through the play through from the man on defence. Here we go. Can she stay with her? She can't. She couldn't stay with her. There was a little push off, and Matilda Daniels gets the Sea Eagles in front with 2.5 to go. And we were just talking about the game swings and roundabouts, and there's another try, and they're in front, the Eagles.
Yeah, to take the lead, 4-3. The Eagles, good play from Wetherill. They got them under pressure on the touch before. Then she got out of half. Got the play-through call from the referee and found Matilda Daniels in the backfield. 4-3, 2 to go.
We spoke about it before that drive, and then I think it was Whittle that got the ball down, and it was a great drive, and that space and the speed on that with 2.5 to go crucial, and Daniels did really well with that little bump off, as we see, and it's a very effective.
Hannah Pratt's trying to do it again. She's trying to dummy the quickie and go the short side here. Here she goes again. She's off.
She throws that pass, and
they weren't quite set up there. Good defence there for Manly. They didn't overcommit and had the short side covered every time.
I think it was Sienna Jeros there. Just had probably a little bit more speed than the last defender that she beat, that Pratt beat. So I think that was the case there, that Jeros just covered it and smothered it well. So
it's a critical set for Manly. If they can get a good completion here, Manly, Ryde will have to go length of the field to score late to get a drop-off here. So we do go to a drop-off in drawn. We don't go to extra time. Straight to a drop-off down to 4-on-4 for 2 minutes.
As they picked up and she steps, and she had to be onside eventually there. And Pratt, and the touch is made.
We're in the championship minutes here now, mate, with just over a minute to go. Riders would have to go length of the field to get us to a draw and get back in the extra time to drop off.
And they'll take it forward. And they got a penalty that'll help them out.
Wouldn't surprise me a few more penalties here from Manly. They'll try to give penalties away here, slow the game down. But very critical here from Ryde, but if they can get down there, they may be a chance. They've put the winger away.
The big diving touch, and I tell you what, she's out.
They've caught her out before the touch was made.
And the crowd, you can hear them getting right into this game with 20 seconds, and as I say, that'll be all she wrote, you dare say, with 20 seconds, less than 20 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, very critical that call there, and that's probably killed the game for Ryde Eastwood. They were a chance there with about 30 seconds to go with some touches up their sleeve. Manly just hold the boards, game over.
They're going to go down the Hawks, but they've been absolutely courageous in this sort of the weather, the conditions. It's been a tough game, and Manly will look to throw it around, and we're going to play the late pass here.
Manly killer, coach killer from Manly. They give Ryde Eastwood one touch.
The winger on that far side, she's absolutely buggered. She's on her tippy toes. And they're going to look for her. They go the wrap around, and they got space, and they can't handle it. That's it. They're just prolonging that. But commiserations to the Hawks. Congratulations to the Seagulls. And Rick, Manly just a little bit too good.
Yeah, Manly just a bit too good there in the last couple of minutes. They just got control of the game and without a tempo back end of the sets. And just found a couple of late tries, which gave them a win, 4 touchdowns to 3. And Ryde Eastwood were brave, and they were just a bit of inexperience. A very young Ryde Eastwood team. They just need a few experienced players to help them out around the way.
And that'll do us for that one, Rick. I'll see you back in here later on this afternoon. Manly taking our first grand final, defeating the Ryde Eastwood Hawks 4-3. We'll see you in around 10 minutes.